Before he was born, everyone was expecting it. They were all waiting. They knew it was coming. They would sit there, smoke their cigarettes, and listen to their jazz, and just wait for the day that he would finally be born. The jazz that they would listen to wasn't soothing to them. It didn't calm their nerves. It didn't make the anticipation any less. It took him a very long time to crawl into this world. When he finally came, the only people who actually showed up were, well, the people from the hospital. Not the hospital he was born at, the hospital across the street, because the people at the hospital he was born at realized that, well, you know, he was never really gonna do anything with his life. He was never gonna amount to anything because the bottom of his feet were too small, and the tops of his hands, they just didn't really match up to the circumference of his head, and he didn't have the proportions that God meant for him to have. But the people across the street at the other hospital, they appreciated his individuality and his disproportionate skull and his feet that were just oddly shaped and didn't fit into any pair of shoes. He had a size 1 Doc Marten boot on the left and a size 4, I guess it would be called a sandal on his other foot. He had to be dragged everywhere. He couldn't walk for himself. He couldn't talk for himself. He had the lyrics of Bon Jovi to help him do that. His mother would drag him everywhere he went, and one day she said, you know what, he needs help. I can't handle this anymore. I can't be dragging him everywhere. So he got a pastor to come and to baptize him to get, well, it wasn't a real pastor, and it wasn't a real baptism. Those are just the words they used to describe it, to, I guess, let the general public better understand the ceremony they were performing. He got his urine in a gold container, and then he poured it over his disproportionate head in order to cleanse him and to hopefully make him be able to interact with the outside world better. Whether this would work or not, no one knew. This was the first time they tried this. He was the perfect subject. His brain cells fluctuated as the urine poured over him, and he began to sit up and to regain consciousness. He finally experienced the world in the way that others naturally did, and he did not enjoy it. The first thing he saw when he awoke was an image of John Torrington. The only thing he knew to do was to shove it down his throat. That's the only thing he could think to do. That's what he was tempted to do. He shoved it down his throat, and he chewed it up with his barely functioning molars. The urine had cured them, in a sense. He finally had molars, but his front teeth were dead, so it took him a long time, and he spat it out multiple times, but he picked it up, and he proceeded to just try to swallow it, because that's all he wanted to do. With his consciousness, he tried, and he kept going, his teeth growing in as he chewed. With every bite, another tooth would come in, until he had finally successfully swallowed the piece of paper. And he was reborn as a man who would never play slap bass ever again. For the rest of his life, he mostly hid in corners. Just because his physical form became more average, most people still didn't understand him. Whenever he tried to tell people the story of, oh, well, I was born with my head too large and my intestines were put in backwards and all these things that were wrong with me. And then a spiritual man with really no label, poured my urine over my head and I was cleansed. I was cleansed of whatever demon or animal or maybe another human was inside of me and whatever was controlling me. People would laugh. They wouldn't believe him. He just stopped explaining. He eventually completely isolated himself from society, from those around him, from those who loved him, from Tiffany, the really cute waitress who worked at Applebee's. And he learned how to play bass with his now functioning fingers and limbs. This man is now known as the Transportation Security Officer. Transportation Security, everyone say it! Transportation Security! Yes! He'll protect you from any transportation fatalities that may occur. His name is Quinn. His job is this, to grab your hand and give it a twist. He's got that corn smile that can't be missed. Soft rat whose hand he kissed. He will protect your car, he will protect your van, won't let you get too far. He does the best he can. His hands are covered in oil, and soon yours will be too. When his gums start to boil, he just swallows that glue, 'cause he's the Transportation Security, a big advocate for purity. Just trust the vast majority. Thank you, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed that.